Welcome back, everyone, to my series in which I talk about the possibility of what the MCU could have looked like if Marvel never sold the rights to their characters. In the last video, we finished off Phase 1 and did a few films from Phase 2. In this film, we finish off Phase 2 and move on to the films of Phase 3. So let's get this started. Starting off with bang, we have Avengers Culture Shock. In this movie, Captain America would join the team, and much like in the comics, the Masters of Evil will be the main villains, being comprised of Baron Heinrich Zemo, Enchantress, Executioner, Melter, who would actually be Aldrich Killian, Radioactive Man, and Black Knight, who would eventually defect to the Avengers. By the end of the film, all of them as the Masters of Evil would simply end up being arrested. None of them would die. Obviously, set up a Thunderbolts movie. And Hank and Janet would ultimately be dismissed from the team to make way for Captain America and Black Knight. And while Janet's sort of fine with it, just a little kind of disappointed and stuff, Hank has a full-blown mental breakdown. In the post-credit scene, we see him constructing a robot to destroy the Avengers. Its name? Ultron. Now, for the final film of Phase 2, we have X-Men 2 United. This film would basically explain what Wolverine was during the events of Avengers Culture Shock as he went off and joined the X-Men alongside Sunfire, Banshee, Storm, Nightcrawler, Colossus, and Thunderbird. The main villain would pretty obviously be William Stryker, and since Nightcrawler is here, we can get a live-action version of this iconic panel. Moving on to the first project of Phase 3, we have Eternals. This would not actually be a film, but rather a mini-series that would revolve around Black Knight and the Eternals trying to stop the birth of Tiamat. Moving on to the next film, we have Captain America, The Winter Soldier. This won't be the exact same film that we got in real life, except Alexander appears to be replaced by Baron von Strucker, and of course the whole post-credit scene would have to be cut out because it just doesn't make sense anymore. Next up, we have Iron Man 3, which will be released in 2017. This film would basically be Iron Man 2, with the only real change being Bethany Cabe taking Pepper's place in the plot as a new love interest for Tony. This one we're going to be taking a look at is the Indestructible Hulk. The main villain of this movie is, of course, Red Hulk, and this film will also introduce She-Hulk and Red She-Hulk as new allies for Hulk. For the big one, ladies and gentlemen, we have Avengers Age of Ultron. The main antagonist of this movie would still be Ultron. However, he more or less actually plays second fiddle to the true main antagonist, Hank Pym, as Yellow Jacket, with Ultron kind of being a bit of a puppet, with him basically doing Hank's every command. Justin Hammer would also be in the film, taking Ulysses Claw's place because you can never have too much Justin Hammer. In this film, we'd also be introduced to Scott Lang as the new Ant-Man, and in the end, Ultron would be destroyed by Vision, Hank would be sent off to prison, and Janet would retire as a Wasp, handing on the mantle to her niece, Hope.